Hello and welcome to Female Cricket Live. We have completed yet another week in the 100, and the cricket is getting better and better. There is no doubt about it. So, we have completed 2 weeks of the 100, and there is exciting cricket being played in the UK. We have had 6 matches in the past week, and all the matches have producing some exciting cricket, and there have been certain thrilling contests as well. Some nail biters, not to forget, there have been many of them as well. Okay, so there were many top performances that happened in the past week. Some of them were Jemima Rodriguez half century. That was a second half century, consecutive half century. Then we had Smriti Mandhana also scoring one half century. Then we had Danny White, Rachel Priest, and of course Sammy Joe Johnson picking up that 4 for 15, though in a losing cost, but that was an amazing bowling effort by the Australian all rounder. So, to talk more about these performances and the matches that happened in the past week, as well as a bit about today's game that will be played between London Spirit and Southern Brave, I have with me Aarti Sankaran and Sharadha Sridharan. I welcome both of you to Female Cricket Live.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you. Okay, so Sharda, we have seen some great cricket being played over the last 1 week, and of course, starting from 21st of July, thanks to the 100 that has come out very well. So, how do you think has the cricket progressed in that tournament so far?
I think all the matches, as you rightly mentioned, were too close even to predict at any time that this team is going to win. It was always a seesaw, or like the kind of cricket that we expect in the shorter formats, and it was great to see all the players, even the foreign players and even the domestic players performing equally, and to see them up to the task was brilliant. And the game awareness, especially with the fielding efforts, the catching, especially the outfield catching, and some bowling efforts, batting, especially while chasing. We have I was just discussing this with Aarti ma'am earlier today, that teams chasing and teams batting first, they have one similar number of games. So
Yeah.
chasing is definitely not something that comes easy in these shorter formats. So they've been doing extremely well under pressure, and to see so much people coming in to watch the game was also fantastic. We have had
Mhm.
a good crowd for all the women's games so far, especially the one that the Oval Invincibles played, and even when Smriti
Yeah.
Mandhana was playing the Southern Brave, where she
Mhm.
hit a 50 plus score. I think the crowd has been fantastic as well. It's a
Absolutely.
great atmosphere to be at.
Absolutely. So as Sharda pointed out that the teams batting first and the teams batting second have won equal number of matches. So for all the viewers that 13 matches have been played, 6 have been won by teams batting first, 6 by teams batting second, and there was a one washout game. So Aarti, we have seen obviously some exciting cricket that has been played over the last 2 weeks, we can say. So according to you, which was your favorite moment in the past week?
There have been quite a few. Um, of course, you are very happy when your Indian players do well, and uh, Jemima Rodriguez has been amongst them, so it's good news. But I would, I saw Hayley Matthews play, and I thought she was fantastic. For the very simple reason, we typically associate women power hitting with onside game,
Yeah.
whereas she showed us how it is to be done on the offside. I mean, Jemima and she really
Hmm.
rock on the offside. And yes,
Yes.
some of the shots that she played yesterday, as I was discussing with Sharada, the back foot play over covers, not the easiest shot for women to play
Hmm.
because the ball speed isn't as much.
Hmm.
And the shots that she played over the head of extra covers, they were really fantastic to watch. She, from the time she played in the World Cup in India, I've always thought she was a special player. The
Hmm.
strength that she has behind her hitting ability, her bat swing, and her, it's very unfortunate that she doesn't score too much too often. Actually, I'd like to see her get a lot more runs because she's that kind of a player. Because once she gets going, she can single-handedly win games. Yesterday, they won with a lot of balls to spare, and that's not easy. Yeah,
Hmm.
while chasing, as Sharda rightly mentioned. So
Hmm.
I think the Hayley Matthews innings will be my top performer of the week. No, I mean credit also to Joe Johnson for her 4 wicket haul, because
Hmm.
she took the 4 wickets in the last 10 balls of her bowling
Hmm.
effort,
Hmm.
which means 4 balls out of 10 she's picked up wickets, 6 balls she's hardly conceded any runs. What more can you expect from a bowler?
Absolutely.
And top class show.
Absolutely. So as Aarti mentioned and touched upon that our we feel happy when our Indian girls do well. Jemima Rodriguez and Smriti Mandhana. And of course, I would like to share with all of you. And of course, everybody must have seen that Sindhu just won a bronze medal for India. So again, it is a matter of pride for our country. All right. So moving on. So Sharda, Jemima scored second consecutive half century. So after that blistering 92 runs, she again scored a wonderful half century. So what do you think is the secret behind Jemima's success in the 100 so far?
For any batter, after they have gone through a lean patch, once you get one innings rolling, to your credit, it's always down the hill from there, the acceleration, I mean. So once she got that 92, always she had the confidence in herself that she can perform at the highest level, because this competition, all the top players from a lot of nations are playing. It's not easy at all. So in that scenario, if you're able to get runs, so it just gets that one spark is all what you require. And you all know Jemima Rodriguez is a class apart. She's a class act. So after that 92, you could see her body language, a change, world of change in her body language. Even when she's, fielding as well, when she's batting, going and talking to her partner, her running between the wickets, the calling has become louder. And the way, she pierces the gaps. She's not a very, very strong, player like Hayley Matthews or even Shefali Verma for that fact. She plays the classical cricket shots. So these kind of players like Hayley Matthews, as Aarti mentioned, and even Jemima Rodriguez keep reminding us that even although you don't have a lot of, this extravagant cricket shots in your book, the shortest format is still something that is available, that can be used by these players who play classical cricket shots.
Absolutely. So Jemima has definitely shown the world that cricket is, rather we can say the shortest format is not everything about power hitting, but it is of course about good timing as well and good stroke
Exactly.
play down the ground as well. Excellent. So Aarti, you were mentioning about Hayley Matthews' innings, and it was amazing. And she was the one who led Welsh Fire to their first win in the three outings so far. So what impact will that innings have on the Welsh Fire team?
Like any winning team likes to stay, keep that momentum going. I think it's all about creating momentum.
Right.
That is what we are seeing lacking with the Manchester Originals. They have no momentum going, and Welsh Fire have got it going, and we will take it. Any team takes it in whichever form they get that momentum.
Right.
If it's through Hayley Matthews, great, and it was a fantastic knock. So why not?
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
think then this is the push that they needed, so that this contest becomes even more equal going forward to the coming week.
Absolutely.
If more teams can start upsetting the existing winners like the Northern Superchargers or the Southern
Hmm.
Braves, if there are teams that can come and challenge these two top teams,
Hmm.
imagine how much more interesting the women's cricket format is going to get. It's going to draw a lot more crowd. You're going to get a lot more people watching our game, talking about the game. So these kind of games therefore become important in the larger context
Hmm.
of getting more people to watch women's cricket.
Absolutely.
It's one step forward in my opinion.
Right, right. So definitely the momentum has shifted towards Welsh Fire, we can say, after that Hayley Matthews splendid knock. So moving on, we had another opener in Rachel Priest, who scored a brilliant 70 odd, and she helped her team get past that 150 run mark. And till now, out of the 13 matches that have been played, they have only reached 150 only once, and that was Rachel Priest, thanks to her effort. So Sharda, how important is the role of an opener in this 100 format?
No, it's of paramount importance. Always whenever you're batting first or even when you're chasing, you want one of your top three, to just hang out there and play all the 100 balls. We saw it happening for the Northern Superchargers when Jemima Rodriguez took on the baton and she played the full innings of 100 balls. And we saw that even as a case with the Southern Brave as well. When Smriti Mandhana played one inning, she finished it, and in the previous game, Danny Wyatt took responsibility, took charge,
Right.
and even Sofia Dunkley, who came in at number three,
Hmm.
she even chipped in with some crucial runs. So it's very important that one of the top three players, plays fully throughout the innings, because they
Hmm.
kind of come in early and they have a lot of balls, to get acclimatized to the conditions. And once you hit two shots out of the middle from the middle of your bat, you start to seeing the cricket ball like a football. So it becomes even all the more easier for them to, just carry their back
Right.
through. So even if you
Right.
take some stats and if you can just look at it, the teams that are
Hmm.
on the top, especially the Superchargers and the Southern Brave,
Yeah.
the top three have been amongst the top run getters of the tournament. So that's going forward into the tournament. That's going to be a very, very critical factor. You want at least one of your number one, two, three, to
Hmm.
stay and play there fully.
Absolutely. So, as Sharda mentioned about Southern Brave, who are topping the tables right now, so they have Danny White and Smriti Mandhana both hitting forms as they hit half centuries in the game two and game three for Southern Brave. So, Aarti, what do you think is Southern Brave doing differently than the other teams? What is the secret to success?
Mm, one, different players are performing in different games, which means
Hmm.
they are not one player dependent.
Right.
I think that's a very, very crucial aspect in a team sport and at different areas. For example, Danny
Hmm.
White and Smriti at the opening slot, and then Sofia Dunkley comes one down,
Hmm.
and then you have Stephanie Taylor coming in later on to do the supporting role. Even the bowlers, all of them have been on point for most of it, but it's the batting that's been winning it for them till now. But
Hmm.
I've given you four different names performing
Yeah.
at four different times of the innings, which means
Right.
their success rate is likely to be better. That is what they are
Hmm.
doing right.
Right.
It has just happened for them that their players are striking form at the right time and they're doing well. Danny
Hmm.
White has continued it from the T20s, yes. Smriti, they've been very fortunate because she didn't come in with a lot of form. Her first match, she didn't do too well. And then to
Hmm.
get a 60 is a great effort. So, when you have different people performing well and you're not a two or three player dependent team, I think
Hmm.
automatically success is slightly more on your side. Simply because now everybody has equal responsibility. There is no pressure on one single person to do really well.
Absolutely.
That is, I think, the reason that they have been successful until now.
All right, right. So on the flip side, we have Manchester Originals, who have unfortunately not won even a single game from their three outings, and they boast of players like Harmanpreet Kaur, maybe, okay, Kate Cross, who's there, the England seamer. Sophie Eccleston is there, but still they have not managed that win in the 100 competition. So Sharda, what do you think is happening to the Manchester Originals?
See, once the teams were announced, I thought that the Manchester Originals, they have the strongest squad on paper. As you said,
Yeah,
names like Harmanpreet Kaur, Mignon Dupree, and even Lizelle Lee, who are capable of
yeah,
scoring tons in the T20 format. We saw one half from already Harmanpreet Kaur in the 2018 World Cup as well. So
hmm,
this team seemed the strongest, and I thought that they would top the table undoubtedly. But now the case has come that they have not even, unfortunately, as you said, won even a single game in this tournament so far. So it's kind of a very unfortunate thing having players, quality players like that. The issue I see with them is that we discussed about the top three, the top three
hmm,
scoring a lot of runs. That has not been happening for Manchester Originals. They have
yeah,
had no opening partnerships or very little opening partnerships. Lizelle Lee is a kind of an impact player, who can just
hmm,
take the game away from you in those first 20 or 30 odd balls. She's capable of scoring at 12 per over also. And that has not been the case with the Manchester Originals. They have always lost a wicket within the first 10 balls itself. So that's
hmm,
been a really big setback. And Harmanpreet Kaur coming in at number 4, she's a class act as we all know, but she needs to stay there till the 100th ball and finish the innings like how
yeah,
Smriti Mandhana or even a Danny White, even Hayley Matthews did
hmm,
last week. So if Harmanpreet could just instead of getting out at the 80 or 85 balls odd mark, that 15 balls at the end
hmm,
make all the difference, because we have Sophie Eccleston in the previous match when Harmanpreet
yeah,
Kaur got out. There were 15 or 16 odd balls left, so you cannot
hmm,
leave those kind of those number of deliveries to your bowlers to get the best out of it. Unfortunately, they had Sophie Eccleston who is capable of hitting a lot of boundaries, but
hmm,
players like Harmanpreet Kaur who come in at number 4 and Mignon Dupree as well for that fact, and
hmm,
who bats at number 5. So these two players, need to take a lot of responsibility to play throughout for Manchester Originals to post totals over 140 or 150, which is very very competitive. That has not been the
hmm.
case. So I think that's a major glitch in this Manchester Originals movie so far.
Absolutely. So, Sharda, just to extend to that question of yours, so do you think any big changes being made in the original squad going further?
I don't see any, big changes being made. They have the batters have been Harmanpreet has been amongst the runs, but unfortunately, she has been able to finish. She hasn't been able to finish.
Yeah.
The thing the coach would say probably is that to just play out, ensure that your top order plays the 100 deliveries
Mhm.
and to stay there. If Harmanpreet or Mignon Dupree stays there, you can very well they can go past the 150 mark. So
Hmm.
that will be the aim of Manchester Originals going forward, and I don't see any drastic changes being made. Maybe for a matter of fact, I might want to see Harmanpreet Kaur bat at number 3.
Oh, okay. So promote herself maybe one step up.
Yes, one step
Okay.
ahead. Yes, so that she gets a bit of time, and
Hmm.
once she gets going, she has a lot of deliveries, to face. And with Mignon Dupree coming in at number 4, I think it will be a very good idea.
Absolutely. I remember we speaking about this topic, like Harmanpreet Kaur coming in at number three for India as well. And we had seen what wonders she had done when she came to bat in at one down position. Absolutely. Let's
Absolutely.
hope that Kate Cross is listening to us and maybe Manchester Originals make that slight change and hope wonders work for them. All right. So, Aarti, we have Indian players playing this 100 competition. We have Deepti Sharma, we have Shefali Verma, Smriti Mandhana, Harmanpreet, and Jemima. So, according to you, how has the performance of these Indian players been so far?
Not bad at all. Considering they are coming at the end of the day, they came with a very ordinary outing in England to come here and try to muster some spirit and trying to play better. Is difficult typically.
Hmm.
Credit to them that they have managed.
Hmm.
Shefali, however, needs to start spending a little more time at the crease. Of frustration against the leg he showed the other day, where
Hmm.
she couldn't. The way she lost her wicket was very, very amateurish. That is not how it. She needs to be doing it at that level. She cannot pretend to be playing cricket at a much below par level. If you've not got it, you find a way to get to the other side, get the other batsman in. Deepti
Right.
Sharma, yeah, again getting out of the first ball yesterday to a ball going down the leg side,
Hmm.
unacceptable. Her bowling has not been bad. That's why she's able to survive. But her batting, she's not been effective, really. Harman, again, after the first match, she hasn't been, her strike rate hasn't been great.
Hmm.
See, they're all good players. There is no doubt, which is why they are there.
Right.
But if you want to become more than just good, if you
Hmm.
want to be the best out there, you need to be showing a much better version of yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, Shefali Verma cannot give her wicket away the way she is doing it at the moment. Three boundaries, even today, three boundaries and then out. What's the
Hmm.
point?
Hmm.
You're there as an opener. As we were just talking, such an important role, that opening position. You are the one who gets to play 100 balls if you decide to be
Right.
there.
Hmm.
All right, especially if you're one taking strike.
Hmm.
So I had a senior of mine tell me always. She said, I always like to take the strike, Aarti, because I feel I have 300 balls to play. If I'm the
Hmm.
non-striker, I have only 290, one ball less always. So that's
Right.
such a that's when it struck me. What a fantastic way of looking at it. While everybody would rather have the other person want to take strike. Here is one
Hmm.
person who says, I'd rather do it every single ball.
Right. Right.
So if this is something that Shefali Verma can incorporate in her game and not get
Hmm.
frustrated by small misgivings. I mean, if you saw Jemima's innings,
Hmm.
she scored one of six balls. In fact, the team was not on 100 strike rate, even sorry, not at 150 or something strike rate at the end of the power play mark.
Hmm.
But because she held on her nerves over there and she stayed in the middle, she managed to get past and well into the above 100 strike rate. Her
Hmm.
60 was of some 51 odd balls.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
There is power in staying there even in this format. So there's been a lot of discussion about that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not just about how the big hitters are going, but why not the conventional players? These are conventional players have found out a way to be there, stay there, like a Wyatt, like a Hayley Matthews, like a Jemima Rodriguez, where
Hmm.
they've stayed there, spent some time, and then they've realized they can open up.
Hmm.
Whereas the big hitters, they go for it, and then this is a very short-term success. So
Hmm.
imagine the big hitters can incorporate a little bit of the attitude of the conventional players.
Hmm.
and see how much further they can go. I think it'll be good for them. Even a Joe Johnson, for example,
Hmm. Hmm.
she's played some fantastic shots, but then again she's getting out in her 20s and 24s.
Hmm.
Imagine if she's there to play 30 balls, she'll be wreaking havoc.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is where the Indians, I feel, are making a mistake. And even
Hmm.
Smriti Mandhana's innings prior to this,
Hmm.
she chose the wrong end to play that lofted shot. I'm saying decision
Hmm.
making. You're all
Hmm.
playing at the international level. Your decision making ought to be better than that. Sharda was telling me about the wind factor in that game. You can't play against the wind. You'll have to play more with the wind.
Right. Right.
Change your shot selections. These are all decisions you make on the ground.
Hmm.
So
Right.
I think these are a few areas, tactical point of views, the mental strength point of views, where the Indians are probably a little behind the rest of the teams playing, rest of the players playing.
All right. So, very good points raised by Aarti as to why the Indian players are not performing that well as per their benchmarks that they have set over the years, playing for the Indian team, of course. All right. So, in a matter of few minutes now, we have a game between London Spirit and Southern Brave. So, these two teams we can say are moving on the opposite tracks, if we have to say this, because Southern Brave have been invincible. They have won three out of the three games. However, London Spirit, they won their first game, but then they have lost two games. So they are coming from two consecutive defeats. So it will be interesting how the London Spirit approach this game. So, Sharda, what do you think will be the approach adopted by both these teams, Brave and the Spirit?
Southern Brave, 3 out of 3, they'll be very happy with their performances. So again, they'll be looking for a win to, consolidate the position because in this tournament, the first finisher, gets a free pass to the finals, and number two, the teams who finish at number two and number three have to
Hmm.
battle it out to reach the finals. So, there is always an advantage to, winning all the games and staying at the top and fighting it out and getting your nerves working. So London Spirit should be looking for a win. Coming out of two consecutive losses is definitely going to hurt their momentum, and the
Hmm.
other team is on completely the other side of the pole. So it's the things are a little bit difficult for London Spirit, but it's not like they cannot make a comeback. They have players like Deandra Doughton, Tammy Beaumont,
Hmm.
two of the most explosive players in women's cricket opening for them.
Hmm.
So they haven't really fired in this tournament so far. Doughton again
Hmm.
getting a start and getting out in her 20s, 15, 20 odd runs. That's not going to help. London Spirit's cause. You have Heather Knight in the middle who can consolidate on a good start from the openers. And as Aarti ma'am rightly said, Deepti Sharma has been bowling well, but her batting hasn't been, up to the mark till now. She has been just
Hmm.
scoring at a strike rate of 90 to 100, 80 to
Hmm.
100 to be precise. But that's not going to be enough for a format like this. You need to be taking at least one run off each ball. So a minimum
Right.
100 strike rate is expected out of an all-rounder like Deepti Sharma, and plus she's a left-hander as well. So she
Hmm.
can definitely add that impetus whenever she's batting with Heather Knight also. That left-right combination is always an advantage. It's not very easy for the bowlers to bowl to, a
Hmm.
left-right combination in the shorter format with all the field restrictions. So that
Right.
middle order, the openers definitely Deandra Doughton and Tammy Beaumont. They definitely have the capability. Tammy Beaumont, we all saw in the in series against India also. She was amongst
Hmm.
the top run getters. It's not like that she cannot score. And even Deandra Doughton, with her big shots and with shorter
Hmm.
boundaries, 60-meter boundaries is nothing for her. She's the player with the most number of sixes in T20 international cricket, male or female. That's not an easy feat at all. So having two openers like that, a London Spirit should definitely be looking, at the positive side. And maybe the coach will have a chat with both the openers today before they just go in and, as Aarti ma'am said, try to play out the 100 balls. If they both
Right.
play out the 100 balls, who knows, they can easily go past a score of 150 also. They have the capability and they have the bowling also for that, to defend that score as well. So with Deepti Sharma, taking the new ball, she has been good but not excellent. So I hope that she comes really good in this game as well. But Southern Brave, they have been excellent. They have been using their resources very well. And as Aarti ma'am said, different players have been performing at different levels. So if a Smriti
Hmm.
Mandhana fails, there is always a Danny Wyatt. And the openers don't get you a start. There is always Stephanie Taylor and Sofia Dunkley as well, who can get you those quick runs, and even Anya Shrubsole comes and slogs it out at strike rate of 160 or 170. So they are not going to be an easy team to beat at all. But London Spirit have to be definitely at their very very best today, to beat a team who has won 3 out of 3 games in this competition.
Absolutely. Sharda, thank you for sharing those interesting statistics about the number of sixes as well. So there is no doubt that both these teams are blessed with some amazing openers, but the contest that I am actually, excited to see is between Deepti Sharma and Smriti Mandhana. So Aarti, what do you think will be the approach from both these players?
They are professionals, so I think they will go in it the best possible way. Um, I have a feeling Deepti Sharma may come on top on
Oh,
this one. I just have a feeling
okay.
that Deepti Sharma may be on top because if she's going to open with a new ball, there
Hmm.
is a weakness that Smriti Mandhana has with the ball coming on a slightly
Hmm.
blind spot, which
Hmm.
I'm sure Deepti Sharma knows. And it will be foolish not to use that.
But even Smriti Mandhana knows the bag of tricks that Deepti Sharma carries with us. So how do you think will she approach her batting?
Ideally, give the strike to the other person. Give it.
Let
Give
Danny
the
White take
strike
her
to
on.
Danny White. Deal with it. Right-hander, off spinner. You whack her out of the park, and I will settle down with the on the other end and hit the others out. And that will probably be a better approach.
Just to
Okay.
add, that has been a
Yeah.
tactic that has been used in the 100 against Smriti Mandhana. So we saw Erin Burns, the off
Correct.
spinner, coming and bowling to Smriti Mandhana around the wicket. So I'll not be surprised if Deepti Sharma opens the bowling and bowls to Smriti Mandhana.
Okay. Okay. So again, it will be interesting to see who wins this contest. We'll have to see. All right. So, Sharda, who will be the key players to watch out for in today's game between the Spirit and the Brave?
Um, for the Brave, it should be Smriti Mandhana, Danny White, their top four. I wouldn't say I wouldn't leave out anyone. So Sophia
Hmm.
Dunkley and even Stephanie Taylor played a very very supportive role, which was not
Okay.
spoken about very much. Now, when you
Hmm.
have a player who's going at the other end at a strike rate of 148, it's important
Hmm.
for you to be calm, be composed, and
Hmm.
rotate the strike and play the second fiddle. I think with all
Hmm.
her experience, she played that role to perfection. Stephanie Taylor and
Hmm.
Anya Strapsol, she has been you know. On dot till now, picking up wickets with the new ball and the amount of swing that she gets, and also the slower one that she has developed. I think she is going to be very crucial as well. Sophia Dunkley, she has been amongst the runs, and she's a very very seems to be a very
Hmm.
cheeky player and someone who likes to be busy. That even if you don't get a boundary, she always gets you those quick singles and doubles.
Right.
And you see her strike rate, she hasn't got
Hmm.
the most extravagant shots, but it's always at 120 and 130. These are the kind of players that you want in your team in the shortest format. So she is definitely a value add. For the London Spirit, I think I definitely feel, I have a hunch that Tammy Beaumont will get going in this game. Deandra Doughton, of course, she's going to be crucial. Heather Knight, I would say, because Heather Knight hasn't had the best tournament so far. She has been good in patches, and
Hmm.
Deepti Sharma, of course. That contest, as you mentioned, Smriti versus Deepti, that's going to be an interesting one. So Deepti Sharma also needs to be negotiated carefully.
Absolutely. So, Aarti, what is a good score according to you on this for this match?
Somewhere around the 130, 140 mark, I think it'll be good. It'll be a competitive score. Um, we'll have to. It entirely depends on the openers. Quite honestly,
Hmm.
any score that's going to go past 140 will depend whether the openers, whether it is Deandra Doughton and Beaumont, or over here
Hmm.
Danny White and Smriti Mandhana, are able to stay there for more than 50, 60 balls. At least one of them.
Okay.
I think it is entirely based on that because um, at least Southern Brave, they have batsmen who can explode in the middle.
Hmm.
But I'm not entirely sure whether London Spirits have those kind of players. So if the
Hmm.
openers don't do it, I think the middle order gets a little slow for them. As
Hmm.
she said, Heather Knight has been good in patches. Deepti Sharma not going over 100. So Southern Brave seem to have a better middle order bat to get them past even a 140 score. Whereas
Hmm.
unless Tammy Beaumont and Deandra Doughton hang in there for a reasonable period of time, I they will find it difficult to go past the 130 mark. So between 130 and 140, I think will be a good score.
Good score. All right. Okay. So before we start taking questions from our fans, quick predictions from both of you. Sharda, who will win today?
4-on-4 Southern Brave.
Okay, that was very confident. All right, Aarti, what do you think who will win today?
I'm going to go with London Spirits today.
Okay, so it will be interesting to see who wins the match today. All right.
Because I
Okay.
think, as I said, why London Spirits is simply because get a little more fun into the game. We
Yeah.
win against the top team. We are opening doors to a lot of other
The
teams.
table. Yeah.
Their
Absolutely.
win opens doors to other teams. That's the best part.
Right. Right. All right. Okay. So can we have the first question? Okay. Suri is asking. Okay. Just a minute. We'll take this question again. Yeah. Suri is asking, what are the benefits that the Indian players in the 100 would walk away in the context of the upcoming World Cup? Aarti, would you like to take this?
Facing different bowlers, swinging conditions, weather conditions that are reasonably mimicking New Zealand,
Hmm.
not entirely, but reasonably. Boundaries have been made very small here. So New Zealand, effect they have small boundaries, so they'll know what kind of power they need to clear, and making, as I said, tactical decisions in terms of which side do I go for more, or in terms of even whether the wind is blowing across the ground,
Hmm.
as the case is a lot in New Zealand. Who are the bowlers that are most likely to bowl those overs, and how are they going to benefit? The role of spinners in New Zealand, I think, will be a very very important decision. And if anything, it will be a great clue for Harman as to how. I mean, it's a 50 over World Cup. I know Mitali might be the captain, but as far as inputs go,
Hmm.
she will be able to see what kind. They're also playing with people who are likely to be in other squads
Right, right.
like a Kate Cross, or like a
Hmm.
Freya Davis. I'm just saying, giving a few
Yeah.
examples. Anya Shapso. Now they know it is like how the world has become smaller with IPL.
Hmm. Right.
People seem to be reading batsmen and bowlers better.
Hmm.
I think that's the kind of effect the 100 could have on the if we are willing to learn.
Hmm.
It's more than just playing. It's also observing, um, assimilating information, and then seeing how you can use this information to produce results in conditions that are otherwise unknown to us.
Right, right. So this competition is definitely going to be of help to our Indian players. All
If you're
right.
willing to observe.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Can we have the next question? Ishan Rangive is asking, 2 weeks done. Which two teams do you think will play in the finals of the 100? Sharda, what is your thought on this?
Uh, it's still we are still in early stages of the tournament, so it's a bit too early to maybe answer this question. Maybe by the next weekend, we'll be having some kind of an idea as to who are the potential finalists. But at this stage, I see Southern Brave and Oval Invincibles who have a very high chance of making it to the finals, and the other team would be the Northern Superchargers.
Northern.
So I expect some kind of good competition between these two teams to make it to the finals.
Absolutely. All right. So only time will tell who will be the two teams making it to the finals of the inaugural 100 competition. All
Absolutely.
right. On that note, I would like to thank both Aarti and Sharda for talking to us about the top performances of the past week and also throwing some light on the today's game that will be played between London Spirit and Southern Brave. So the match will start at 7 p.m. IST and you can catch all the live action on the Fan Code app. So thank you all the viewers and fans for watching and take care. Stay safe.